So I gotta say, this knife, it showed up sharp, and it stayed pretty sharp throughout the testing. It's still as sharp as when I got it, other than the tip. I didn't really resharpen that after throwing it into the ground on some of the shorts that I did. So for that, yeah, I guess it holds an edge, but as you will further hear later in this video, there are problems, and I would say major problems with this blade. Not just fit and finish, but capability, longevity going forward, and just an overall lack of toughness. So you'll have to forgive me for this clip being somewhat glowy looking in terms of its exposure, just because somehow there was some sort of smudge on the camera, something like that. I'm not going to refilm this. I'm probably not going to dedicate any more time to this knife after this for reasons that you will hear. But if you need a good baton knife, I guess this will do it. I think you could find better options that have more versatility. This will do the trick as far as batoning, but I think that's about the only thing that it's probably going to stand up to longevity-wise. It's probably still going to continue to warp the edge, as I'll explain later, using it on hardwood. It just doesn't stand up. So here I just decided to get a little usage on camera. And this definitely takes a lot of shock. If you're in the batoning process, you can definitely feel it through the handles on this. But it'll still do it. All right, folks, so we are here to do a sad autopsy of this. I wanted to like it, took it, used it. The only thing it's good for, quite frankly, is green wood. As you can see in a few of my shorts, if you look this up on my channel, there's a couple of shorts on this, I'm pretty sure. One where I'm like throwing it into the ground, just seeing if the tip will screw up. I took it out. I had reported previously that there was a warp right there from hitting some hardwood. And I thought, you know, maybe I was just getting crazy. Maybe it's just the hollow grind. And I really wanted to love it. Yeah, the blade stock does not go flush with the actual handle, so it's a hot spot city right here unless you want to put it on a grinder, which I was gonna do. But the more I use this, the worse it gets. So, and this might be a fluke. I know there's other reviewers that have given this thing a good run and, you know, watched them actually use it in the video. So it's not, I'm not saying by any means that any of the guys that said that this was a decent blade were lying or dishonest or didn't test it enough. This might just be a lemon. You can get a lemon that's a Glock. You can get a lemon of any brand of gun, knife, anything like this. This is a budget option to start with. So again, it's sad that it's not really turning out to be a decent budget blade, because boy, I'm a chaser after the budget blades. I like them. This cannot recommend. I cannot recommend it. And if you get one and your experience is different, please leave a comment. Any of the reviewers that showed this, leave a comment if you experienced any of the things that I'm about to talk about. And it's really just the warping. I thought in one place it was just me being a little overzealous, but this thing has warped back here, and it has warped further up front. So it's just not gonna hold up. This thing I thought might have been limited, but the truth is this particular one, and maybe this build entirely on the budget sites, whether it's Temu or AliExpress or any of this might be a genuine piece of shit, or this might be a lemon. However, I'm not going to recommend this. If you want some cheap Becker handles, these might fit like another BK-02 clone, or you might be able to throw these on a knife you built at home just for the hell of it, so you got some decent handles. And I know that Pistol Pete took these off and compared them with his real Bk9, and he said they're exactly the same. So the K-bar handles aren't any different, but this, it just doesn't hold up. The edge warps, and it's just really not comfortable in the hand. There's just too many issues straight out of the box for me to even say that you should even spend $20 on this. And I would love to have given a different report, but that's just not the truth. This thing, This thing is a freaking dud. So just wanted to give the autopsy on here with an honest review. I tried to give it some redemption out by the river and use it on some greenwood, and really that's the only thing that it's not gonna freaking shit out on. And you can't survive only busting up greenwood. So this is not a survival tool. I guess it would work on meat for a while till you hit bone enough. It's technically still usable. I'll probably use this to scrape tile out or cut freaking plywood out around some floor joist or something now, but this is not anything for you to consider usable kit at this point, as far as I'm concerned. I hope that other people have a better experience with this, but this just is not gonna pass the muster. And I'm not one of these sciencey guys. I don't really know a whole lot about blade steels. I assumed this wasn't anything special to start with. And let's just look at the scabbard for 1 second. Not that you get a good scabbard if you buy a genuine K-bar either with this. You do get a plastic insert with a K-bar. This doesn't even have the plastic insert. The buttons are cheap feeling. The grommets, no big deal. If this held up, I was gonna build a leather sheath for it. I guess this could be a decent flashlight pouch, because that's kind of the weirdest accessory pouch I've ever seen on the front, but I wouldn't mind using that as far as if they had a decent knife on a decent scabbard and built a long pouch like that you could put a flashlight in. I think that's kind of cool. But in general, the sheath is shite as well. So there you have it. Autopsy. This thing warps, and it's just not worth further videos, further consideration, in my opinion. But yeah, definitely not in competition with the real K-bar on that one. That will not hold up. It will not compete, and you should not trust it. So with that, don't buy that. So we'll catch you on the next one. I hope you guys appreciate an honest review, even if it's a negative one, which I really don't like to do negativity as far as the reviews and stuff. But if it's just a genuine piece of shit that I don't think is worth the money, you're going to get honesty. Whether I, if I have an opinion that I don't like something and it's just, shall we say, personal preference, I will note that. But if something just is not gonna hold up, is not really viable like this, then I've got to say it, and I'm always going to be honest about that, whether it was sent to me or not. Honesty is the best policy, and we're going to keep that on this channel. So if you buy this, hopefully your experience is better, but I wouldn't recommend you do so.